Good evening to all of my friends out there, and this is SwimMurph coming to you with my very first video in my series SwimMurph Investigates. Now I do say in the evening, it could be morning when you're watching this, but we're filming this at night, so that made sense here. In this series I plan to look into things that I'm interested in, and on today's episode I'm going to be investigating Bigfoot, or the Yeti, or Yowie. Has various different names, various different subspecies, but collectively we go with Bigfoot. So I'm going to talk about that. But before I do any of that, here are my parents to do the sponsorship announcement. Hello, Papa Murph here, and Mama Murph. And today we're going to be talking about boxes, and... No, as in, things you can put things in. No, not like that. Does this always happen? Yes, the producers of this show got a very dirty mind indeed. Everything I say seems to be taken into some kind of, double entendre. Oh, dearie me. Oh, that won't do at all. Well, what about all the information we've done about boxes? Well, I guess we'll just have to skip it and go straight on to the sponsorship announcement. Okay then, all Murphiverse programming is brought to you by Home for the LD Lee. They sell Laserdiscs, HD DVDs, and CDs. And if you put in the code MURPH, as in Mama and Papa Murph, you'll get 20% off of your order. Home for the LD Lee, the kings of Laserdiscs. Now, my first introduction to the creature known as Bigfoot was in the 1987 classic film Harry and the Hendersons. Hello, tennis! Oh dear. Yes, tennis. Well, movies are my thing, so can I review the movie? Well, we're not really here for that. We're kind of just talking more about Bigfoot in general, not so much about the film. Can I do the review? Can I? Fine. Okay, here is Tennis the Menace reviewing Harry and the Hendersons.
For ages, he has hidden in the forest, eluded hunters, baffled scientists, and remained a mystery until the Hendersons bumped into him.
What is it? It's a major discovery. We have to take it home. George. It's alive! It's eating my 15th birthday corsage! Uh-oh. George, he's coming back! Stall him! I can't! How? Show him the pasta maker! This is our home! Our stuff!
Sit.
Exercise, Irene. This is it. The whole world's gonna know. Ran away.
I gotta find him.
Don't kill him.
Means something to me. Did you see that? He means something to me.
We'll never see him again, will we?
What I'm gonna say now might save his life. There has been yet another sighting of the creature that some people are now calling
Harry. Harry? What does he have a name?
Since right now, the average American family just got bigger. Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons is a wonderful film for all the family, about a family called the Hendersons, as the title would suggest. Also, I should mention that it's called Bigfoot and the Hendersons in some countries. The Hendersons don't change, but I guess Bigfoot/Harry does. Nevertheless, it is a wonderful film in which the Hendersons are out on a hunting trip, which is something that is not nice to do, but some bloodthirsty wankers seem to enjoy it, so it happens. Anyway, they come across a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, which is Harry, and he ends up living with them for a while. So hijinks ensue, and yes, it's just a very silly comedy film, but it's a lot of fun, great fun for all the family, and yes, I also think that Harry perhaps could have been in our Cutest Critters video, because I think he is, he's kind of adorable like Chewbacca. It's a very heartwarming film too, yes, lots of fun. I'm giving this one... Well, thank you very much, Tennis, for that lovely interruption. Now, all of the Bigfoot creatures, they're all very elusive creatures, and as a result, it is very difficult to get footage of them on film. Or on video or digital, I guess. Many people have tried, and there's some pretty good evidence out there. Here is some of my favorites.
Oh, there he goes. Jesus.
The cameraman turns back to shoot the couple's own footprints in the snow. Suddenly, the camera captures a strange figure.
Of course, this film has no context whatsoever. You don't know who made it, you don't know where it was shot, you don't know when it was shot. So basically, this is not evidence, unless you can actually track down the source and ask these people some serious questions.
G'day friends, this is Stats from Yowie Busters Australia. On the 30th of July 2022 at 5:38pm, just on dusk, the owner bunk captured this brilliant footage of Yowie. Using filters, I have managed to brighten up this 21 seconds of incredible film. Thank you for watching.
There are also many people who claim to be experts about Bigfoot. However, as there is no one has ever actually caught one or had a decent conversation with one, it kind of makes it difficult for them to actually say if any of what they're saying is true. Perhaps the most famous incident of this is the TV show Finding Bigfoot. This is basically a group of, there's three people that claim that they know all about Bigfoot and one skeptic scientist. A lot of the show seems to revolve around them trying to not have the skeptic scientist roll her eyes at them too loudly.
So what Squatches would do in a place like this? They have great night vision. They would just move along the edges of the woods after having watched all afternoon long where the deer are at, and they can just get closer and closer. But, you know, I don't even think they're actually hunting them most of the time, because they're not going to kill another deer each day. I think they're watching them over like shepherds, just to make sure the deer are eating, everything's cool, they're staying where they need to be for when they want to get one.
You know, this would be a perfect place for Sasquatches, but in particular, small ones, just like the nurseries or the cribs that we see in other parts of the country.
Yeah, this would be a good crib.
Drop off 2 or 3 little Bigfooty guys in here and let them romp around and catch all the rodents and raccoons and armadillos and whatever else, frogs.
And they've got a moat they can cross to get the other side away from dogs.
Right.
So this is a Sasquatch daycare, kind of.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them all throughout the country. We see this again and again. And the big ones just have to go half mile that way and just go kill some Bambi burgers while the little ones are hanging out here eating frog protein packets.
Yeah, it's always areas of frogs.
Now, they do obviously have a very strong passion for the subject, and they've done a lot of research, but at the same time, they just seem to have come to their own conclusions. For example, they have decided that Bigfoot is an apex predator that eats meat. However, Bigfoot could be like us gorillas and not eat meat, so who knows? We don't know. We have no evidence. They also claim that Bigfoot is nocturnal, but there is no evidence of this. Most sightings seem to take place during the day, but their explanation for this is that there's more people during the day, so they're more likely to maybe run into something. But generally speaking, yes, I'd say that it's probably just a case of maybe a few sightings have happened at night, and they've just decided to read into it that they're nocturnal. But yes, once again, no evidence. In the show, they would go out and they would investigate various different sightings, and then they would go out to the places where the sightings happened and try to find something. Now, if it were me and I were going to try and find something that is, not really wanting to be found, I would probably do my best to be as quiet as possible. This was not their way of doing things.
All right, Cliff's going to do some high-pitched Tahoe screams to kind of sound like the young one.
The Tahoe scream is thought to have come from a juvenile Sasquatch, so maybe I'll imitate that, and maybe that'll get a reply. Did you hear that?
No.
Did either of you hear that?
No, what did you hear?
Howl that direction.
Yes, they would just go out there and make as much noise as possible. In various different episodes, they would bring out different types of animals that would make noises. They would often bang on rocks and trees with sticks, and they would do the infamous Bigfoot calls, which you just saw. And yes, I guess it could be that they're replicating the sound that a Bigfoot makes, but again, we have no evidence. They have lots of these recordings on tape, but they could be made by absolutely any creature. There is no proof.
I find inclement weather can be really good squatching. It's uncomfortable and it sucks, but the squatches aren't used to people out there going, yeah, in storms. They think it's another squatch if they're around.
One interesting theory about this came from a big book I read whilst doing research for this video. This was written by somebody who actually claims to have lived with Bigfoot, with one particular seemingly very friendly Bigfoot based on the book. It's called My Life with Bigfoot. I read the entire book before I realized it was written by Reverend C.F. Furphy, OBE. So you can kind of take it with... well, imagine this room is filled with salt. Take it with that amount of salt. The thing is that it is the Reverend C.F. Furphy, OBE, and he lives here. He is my cousin. I figured, why not have him on, and he can go into this himself. So, Furphy, did you really live with a Sasquatch for a year? Oh, yes, indeed. You know, I've had a very interesting life. Well, yes, it's just that of all the things you've made up over the years, I don't make things up. Everything I say is 100% true. Okay, well, out of all of your Furphy stories, this is probably the most difficult to believe. What's so difficult about my romantic relationship with Bigfoot? Romantic relationship? Yes. He's a very tender lover, I'll have you know. Far better than Bryan Adams. Oh, let's not get into Bryan Adams again. Bastard never called. At least Bigfoot still writes. Bigfoot writes to you? Of course. Don't suppose you have any evidence of this? Well, I have got a letter that I've put on the computer screen here that I suppose I could read out to the lovely people watching this at home. Okay, this is the most recent letter I got from my dear pal Bigfoot. Yes, his name is Bigfoot. I guess Bigfoots are not. I guess Sasquatches / Bigfoots are not very big feet. Not the most creative of chaps. A bit like baboons, really. You'll find if you ever talk to baboons, all the male baboons are called Mr. Baboon, and all the female baboons are actually called Mrs. Baboon. It gets very confusing. They know who's who, but yes, Bigfoot is a bit like that. But this is the most recent letter I received. I'd actually written to Bigfoot, or Biggie, as he likes to be called, in the knowledge that my cousin was making this video. And so, yes, this is what he wrote back. Hello, Furphy, old chap. Lovely to hear from you as always. I hope Sussex is doing well. Give my regards to the pets. As for your cousin's inquiries, yes, the sounds on finding Bigfoot are very similar to the ones that I can make. However, these are sounds that I usually only make when there's humans about. It's actually a call to my fellow Sasquatches to tell them to look out, there's humans in the area. So, the Finding Bigfoot people, all they were doing is going around saying, look out, there's humans in the area, in Sasquatch language. Now, obviously, you know, now, Furphy, obviously you know that I do exist, what with having spent a year with me, but, if you need, evidence, for the video, yes, I do exist. I don't really know how else to prove that. That's it's a rather difficult question to prove in writing. Is the fact that I wrote this letter really going to be enough evidence? I don't know. I suppose I could include a couple of furs, but, I don't know. I don't really want to pull out any of my furs. I like my furs. Nevertheless, hope you're doing well, and I still miss your apple juggling technique. I've tried to teach this to several squirrels, but they never really seem to pick it up. Yours faithfully, Biggie. Well, that certainly seems to have put my mind at ease. I don't know if SwimMurph will accept that for their video, but yes. Yes, thank you for having us in the video. Thank you. Okie dokie. Well, that was Furphy and Sussex with their little interlude, I guess you'd call that. And yes, I guess we can accept this for the video. But again, take it with the room full of salt. As for evidence for Bigfoot, the most famous footage is the Patterson-Gimlin footage. That is the one that everybody has seen. Me personally, I do believe it to be real. I did see a few people trying to prove that it was fake. This guy, I think his name is Bob Homunculus or something like that. He came out and said that he was the guy in the suit. The problem is, if you look at the footage, the creature in the video is clearly about 7 foot tall minimum, and Bob Homunculus is, as the name would suggest, a rather small man, and a small fat man, and it doesn't really work out. He and the guy who claimed to have made the suit tried to replicate it for a BBC show. Unfortunately, this version was bright orange, and it really just it didn't line up as well. So yes, even using supposedly the exact same stuff they'd used to make it before, they couldn't do it again, and the arms were far too short, and the proportions were all off. So I think we can safely say that he is full of shit. Anyway, we hope you have enjoyed this first ever episode of SwimMurph Investigates. I will be back in investigating something else that interests me at some point. Until then, don't forget our lovely sponsors at Home for the LD Lee. Don't forget our website, which we're having trouble updating at the moment. They're having some issues with only domains, the people that are looking after it for us. So hopefully we can sort that out soon, because we're not allowed to log into our own website at the moment. But yes, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. If any Bigfoot is out there watching this, we know Bigfoot does have a YouTube presence, but well, I think it's yes.
So, yeah, there's this crashed spaceship on fire behind me, but it's probably nothing to worry about.
No, this one I am 99% sure is not real. So yes, but if Bigfoot is out there and wants to comment and say, yes, indeed, I am real, or no, I am not real, just comment down below. We could have a fun chat, I think. So yes, thank you for watching SwimMurph Investigates.